So some of the questions that I got from Pickleball 52 are, they said to me, we know pickleball has attracted lots of folks who maybe played tennis or badminton and find themselves too injured to do that at a high level now. What makes pickleball a good alternative? And is it dangerous to think of it as safe and less physically challenging? Like, do folks get complacent and not warm up or cool down properly, or not get the proper kit or equipment? Great question to start out with. So, first of all, racket sports, folks who play racket sports live a healthy 10 years longer than those who don't. So, any racket sport, badminton, tennis, pickleball, really good for your health and your longevity. And part of that is because most of those games are played as community. Pickleball is played in fours for the most part when you play doubles. Tennis, you can play singles or doubles. Badminton, I'm not too familiar with, but you need at least one other person to play with. It's not like you're running or you're swimming. You need some type of community. So, first of all, any of those sports, really, really good for your health and your longevity. Um, as far as transitioning to pickleball from those, yeah, it's a smaller surface area. It's a smaller um, court than a tennis court. So you're moving less steps, I'd say. You're still moving as explosively. You're just doing it fewer and fewer times just because of the size of the space that you're operating in. So it is a good alternative for folks who maybe can't play tennis at a higher level anymore or don't want to play that level of tennis. The other thing with pickleball is like you have to be kind of good at tennis to go out and hit a ball with someone. You have to like have some athletic ability. With pickleball, like I can play that with my nephews who are 10. You don't have to be very good or skilled. You can pick up pickleball in a couple of minutes and get good enough to get the ball over the net and have some fun with people. So I think that's a big difference too. I think that's why the tennis community kind of rolls their eyes at the pickleball community because it's not as athletically demanding, but it is active and it is community based, and I do think it's safer as far as the explosive of the movements, the frequency of that explosive movement. Now you go play high level pickleball, yeah, these guys are and gals are moving quickly and laterally and twisting and turning, but it's certainly not as much as tennis or badminton. That being said, that's a great follow up question of is it dangerous to think that it's safe because it's less physically challenging? You still got to warm your body up. You still got to move. And I always say, like, gone are the days of standing around like you used to in phys ed and stretching in a circle, right? The research has shown that actually can inhibit muscle performance. We want to do active warm ups. We want to get our heart rate up. We want to get blood pumping through our system. We want to use the muscles that we're actually going to use when we go play that game. So we do have to warm up and cool down properly. And we need to make sure that we have adequate equipment, right? That our paddle is safe and the balls we're playing with are safe. We have to be thorough in that. Um, I don't think it's any less important to warm up actively for pickleball than it is for tennis or badminton or running or basketball, whatever the activity might be. So that's the answer to the first question. Next question, what are the most common injuries we see in pickleball players? How can they be avoided? Are they contact injuries or overuse injuries? So both. Most common is falls, right? Unfortunately, like people go up for a lob and they fall backwards and they break something. They break a wrist, they break a hand, they break a hip, they break a knee, they break something. Those are the most common ones. There are orthopedists who I know who say like pickleball is keeping them in business, and it is. After that, you see the overuse injuries. People go out, they love this game, they learn it on Monday, they play it for 2 hours every day that week, and then my phone rings on Friday because their elbow hurts or their knee hurts or their ankle hurts, right? And that's because it's a great game. It's really fun, but if you are unprepared and if your body is unprepared for that demand, just like anything, if you, it would be that if you went and learned how to surf, it would be that way if you learned how to run, right? We have to allow our body to adapt and the tissues to adapt to the demand that we're putting on them. So how do we avoid them? I always say, like, no ball is worth a fall. And if you're going back for a lob, let them have that point. Tip your hat to the guy who hit it or the gal who hit it and let them have it. No ball is worth a fall. And as far as the overuse injuries go, just gauge how much you are playing and then listen to your body with how much you're playing. It's going to tell you, hey, we need a break today. And your mind is going to say, no, we don't. We could push through it. And your body's going to say, no, please take a break. And eventually you will reach that point if you push through it a couple days in a row where your body doesn't give you a choice and it's going to hurt too bad to continue playing. So the overuse injuries that we commonly see are pickleball elbow, right, from gripping our paddle too tightly and hitting the ball too many times with one hand. Um, Again, for 2 hours at a time, you did anything for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, probably going to overload that tissue. Another one that's pretty common is we see knee injuries with pickleballers. Because if you're good at pickleball, you're kind of down in a squat for a long period of time. You watch any of these professionals, they're up at the kitchen line and they're squatting and they're leaning. So you can see hip pain start to emerge. You can see knee pain start to emerge. Those are really the two most common that we see. My warm-up tips for pickleball, I can send this company a video of my pickleball warm-up. But like I said before, it's you got to get your cardiovascular system pumping blood to your muscles. Okay, if you think your muscles like elastic bands, when you freeze them, right, if they're inactive, they're less stretchy. But if you warm them up, they get more stretchy. Similar, the way our muscles are and the way that our blood flow and all of our body's systems gear ourselves up to go do a physical activity. It's a fascinating, complicated, beautiful physiological process, and we have to respect it. So it bothers me that people go to a court and they start to dink and they dink for 3 minutes and then they go, okay, let's play. And then the next motion they do is they serve, and then they stay at the serving line, but then they sprint up to the kitchen line as soon as they can, right? Or they return a ball and they sprint up to the kitchen line as soon as they can, and like they haven't sprinted at all in their warm up. So like, yeah, you're gonna pull a hamstring that way. It's just how the nature of the beast. So you want to do the moves that you're going to do. You want to do short little sprints. You want to do some like hopping and jumping. I'll always do some jumping jacks, some hopping over back and forth over the line, reaching up overhead, right, to get my shoulders and my thoracic spine warmed up. Those are the things that I find myself doing. Like I said, I'll send a video because that's worth 1,000 words here. And what do I wish more people knew about their bodies before they exercise? Your body is a strong and capable and incredible place. It will respond to the demands that you put on it. Now, I'm talking physiologically healthy people. You have a disability, you have like a thyroid disorder or an endocrine disorder or something of the sorts, right? If most of the population, normal healthy people, their bodies will respond to the demands that they put on it. You have to respect that every tissue in your body has to respond to that demand. And those tissues are made up of cells, but the cells are specialized. So I often compare the structures and the organs and the cells of our body like those of a house. Okay, in a house or a building, you have windows and floors and doors and walls and appliances and countertops, right? And you wouldn't you don't paint the floor and you don't put a nail through the window. You have to respect that you put a nail in the wall and you put a carpet on the floor, or you paint the walls. So as we start to increase the demand on our body when we exercise, certain tissues will respond really quickly, right? Our blood tends to respond within seconds to an increased demand. Your bones might take weeks to get stronger, right? Your hormone response is going to change, and your metabolic capacity is going to change. Your digestion could change as you start to exercise, right? And it doesn't happen all at once because of the nature of the structures that are in our bodies. So that's what I wish more people knew. I wish more people understood their own physiology and respected it so that they would allow it to adapt. And it's so often I see people get discouraged. They go to try to do like a good thing. Oh, I tried to start running, especially this time of year. It's the end of the year. I tried to start eating good, or I tried to start exercising, or I started to walk and I slipped and I fell on the ice. Like no good deed goes unpunished. We have to respect the tissues and the healing times and the adaptations that they will make if we listen to them. So that's it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for those questions. Keep moving, keep getting better every day.